I always wanted to be a mum. And you know, I would role play being a mum. I loved looking after babies. I am a mum. Yeah. And she would like to be a mum. You've done a beautiful, beautiful flower. But yeah, as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a mum. I got engaged when I was 21, and I started talking to my GP about starting on some contraceptives. I'd seen this GP for my whole childhood, so I just sort of took everything that he said as exactly what I should do, didn't ask too many questions. And the first thing he suggested to me was a contraceptive called Depo-Provera, which is a 3-month-long injection. You don't get injected for 3 months, but you're injected once and it lasts for 3 months. He didn't warn me of any side effects that I might experience from that drug, but what I found was that I had, for 2 of those 3 months, constant bleeding and really, really, really bad, crazy mood swings. I was crying and angry and didn't want to be around people and just felt horrible. But the unfortunate thing was I couldn't get that out of my system until 3 months was up. So I went back to see my doctor again, and he gave me a prescription for the pill, and I started taking that, and I didn't have any obvious side effects from having the pill. It did regulate my period, and after I came off the pill, I didn't get a period at all. And I saw a naturopath and an acupuncturist to see if I could get my cycle going again, because I just thought, oh, it's just taking a while to get out of my system. But after probably close to a year, when I hadn't had my period return, I went to see a different doctor. He did suggest that it was quite possible that the Depo-Provera that I'd been on had influenced what was going on in my ovaries. Pretty much the next week, I started on a program called ovulation induction, which involved a lot of baseline blood testing to see what my estrogen level was. In my first cycle, I fell pregnant, and I rejoiced with much greatness because isn't this amazing? But unfortunately, within a week of finding out that I'd fallen pregnant, I miscarried while I was at work, which was devastating because it just wasn't at all what I expected. In my experience, nobody had really talked to me about how hard it could be to conceive, and then that even once you'd gotten pregnant, that didn't necessarily mean that you would carry that baby to full term. So I waited a month, and then I started the treatment again, and the second time, similar situation, and the third time we did it, that happened again. Exactly the same story, which was really, really disheartening, and I think put a lot of stress on myself and my husband. We did one more cycle, and I got pregnant again, and I carried that baby to full term, post-term, and had my first child, who is now 9.5. So we started again, and the first cycle round I fell pregnant with twins, and I miscarried them several weeks into that pregnancy, so about 9 weeks in, which again is just devastating. Even to talk about it when it's that many years ago, it's very fresh. But after that, we did 3 more cycles, and none of them had any results. So just a really long and tedious process. And the next month we conceived again, naturally, number 3, and I have my 3rd child, my little girl who visited earlier. It was like the process of having the other babies had kick-started my cycle again. I think as an adult, I had come to understand a lot more about the impact of food and exercise in my body. As a teenager, I'd been overweight at a number of periods of time. Didn't eat terrible food, just didn't really have an understanding of how it influenced my body. I think before starting on contraception, I would have really liked to have looked into my options a bit more, maybe drawn a flow chart, tried to weigh up pros and cons for my body.